read the title underneath. I read the thumbnail. Don't have two different things in your thumbnail and your thing. Elephant Graveyard, we really care about him, and he put out a very important piece of media kind of talking about this whole Austin comedy thing and Joe Rogan and this beautiful video. Send that over. Is it over here on my desk yet?
Next up.
I don't see it.
It should pop up.
Yeah, here it is. New Elephant Graveyard video. He made this wonderful. It's almost a movie.
It's amazing. We laughed, we cried.
Trying to get it here. And
but there's
like
one
I said,
part
we're
in particular that we were so excited he's bringing up because
and I don't think anyone else is going to be covering this part. So I decided I'm going to show this part. This is from the Elephant Graveyard. He says, continuing our investigation into how current comedy, the current comedy era got to be so wonderful. Okay. I highly encourage everybody to watch this. Again, the title is How Comedy Was Destroyed by an Anti-Reality Doomsday Cult. This is sitting at 1 million views, which is almost hard to believe that people have the attention span. 1 million people have the attention span to sit through a lot of this. I mean, I could sit through all of it. I could sit through it for 5 hours, but you know how people are. So I can't believe they sat through all of this
beautifully
stuff. Yes, of course. I just can't believe 1 million people. When I think of those people from like the Brendan Schaub subreddit or the people who watch PC Police, what's his name? Podcast Cringe. I can't imagine them sitting and actually watching something for this long. It doesn't seem like something they'd be. If you're going to watch this,
don't just put it on and get in the shower. You have to watch.
No, you got to watch this one. You got to see everything. Watch this one as if it's a film. And if you haven't seen this, movie night. It's an hour and 28 minutes. Sit down and watch this as if it was a film. Of course, I think he owes a lot of credit to me for this, which I'm happy to accept. Other than that, I wanted to show this one part because there's a really great part in here about a certain comedian that I've been wanting to talk about, but it just never came up, or I never had the time, or my dog ate the comedian. But it's about Duncan Trussell. Yeah, remember Duncan Trussell? The voice of reason from L.A. Duncan Trussell is Joe Rogan's bearded friend, the yeah man friend, the mushroom man. Remember when Joe Rogan was all about mushrooms and Sid?
The Midnight Gospel. Robotic Chain.
It used to be a bunch of wonderful things like this. And the Duncan Trussell episodes, I used to put those on. I used to love putting these things on when I was going to sleep. You ever do that thing when you're going to sleep and you're cuddling
the
up?
Elephant Graveyard is here in the chat right now and says, I owe Redbar everything.
He owes me an apology.
Amazing work. We love you.
Yeah, really, seriously amazing work. And everybody should be watching
when
this.
We saw this part, because we've been waiting for someone to say this.
Yeah, so I figured, everybody's going to be discussing all these other parts. I thought it would be cool to show the Duncan Trussell part in full, in case it ever comes up, and that way you have the backstory on what Duncan Trussell's been up to lately. But yeah, I used to cuddle up in bed with that little weed puffa. What's my favorite weed puffa brand right now?
M-Fused.
M-Fused Super Fog. And you'll get that little indica weed puffer, and you'll be in bed, and you go. And you just keep watching Duncan Trussell and Joe Rogan, and then you fall into this blissful, half asleep, half awake thing. It's very comfy, cozy. You wish the night would never end. And in fact, sometimes you wake up 6 a.m, 7 hours later, it's still rolling somehow. The same episode. But Duncan Trussell has taken a turn for the worse. And nobody's really brought this up. I don't know how he's getting away with it. I'm so glad that Elephant Graveyard shined this spotlight on Duncan Trussell because he's getting away with murder. I'd like to show you that part. Jules, what is the time code for this Duncan Trussell part? And then we'll have a little movie.
I think you can start at
with everybody.
33:30.
33:30. Look at that. Shout outs to Redbar Rewind. Shout outs to Xander. Shout outs to Grave. Okay, here it is. I'm just going to play it if you don't mind. And I'll see if I have anything to add. I might just chair react. Let's find out.
Commonly through a philosophical suey. You don't suey your body, but you do suey a part of your inner self. You kill the part of your mind that's inquiring, the part that's honest, the part that embraces life's absurdity without copes. And you fill the hole left behind with things that offer false certainty in place of honest doubt. Religious faith, political partisanship,
Tony!
materialism,
Tom!
hollow spirituality,
Aubrey Marcus!
scientism, hustle cut culture,
Him?
digital
Me?
escapism,
Him?
reactionary nostalgia, being a fat, drunk idiot all the time, philosophical over.
The editing in this is really good. That's why I say don't put this on in the background and then start talking to your friends or looking at your phone or going to do other stuff. Watch this one like a film. Probably one of the better movies we've seen this month. All right, it's coming up. I loved seeing Patrick Bet-David in there just now. I'll say it again. I have the same middle name as him, which a lot of people didn't know. Mike Bet-David is actually my full name, which sucks.
Thinking. Cultism and guru worship, or complete submission to authority. Sometimes all of the above.
Greetings to you, my friends.
Here it
It's
comes.
me, D. Trussell.
Take this guy, Duncan Trussell, for example. One of Joe's longtime friends and a former advocate of radical honesty, truth-seeking, and psychedelic wisdom. Not long ago, he was the lone voice of reason in Joe.
And I almost thought I was imagining this. I'm so glad people are picking up on this because I don't really see too many threads about it. I haven't really read too many things about it. I thought this Duncan part of this whole saga was being greatly ignored. So I'm really happy that we're focusing on this right now. And yes, he just mentioned this guy used to be kind of the voice of reason on the Joe Rogan Experience. This was an innocent. If you would have asked me 8 years ago, Mike, what about Duncan Trussell? I'll go, he's fine. He's nice, right? You would think he's a harmless, nice guy, and at the end of the day, he's going to do what's right. Well, let's find out.
Psychedelic wisdom. Not long ago, he was the lone voice of reason in Joe's inner circle, and the only guy to openly predict how Joe would be corrupted by powerful forces looking to exploit him for access to his far-reaching.
And for those of you who are behind, Joe Rogan has been compromised by powerful forces. Yes. Everyone's on the same page with that, right? They rose to power. They're in cahoots with the FBI now. Isn't that something? I told you about this, Joe Rogan. I'll never forget when Patrick Melton, years ago, first of all, by the way, if you didn't know this, I was the first person on the planet to ever cover Joe Rogan. Yep, that's true.
You say this every single time we bring up Joe.
Well, it must be said. There's new people here all the time. I don't think people know. People think maybe I'm just like too lazy to try and just started doing this. I've covered Joe for so long that I'm bored of covering Joe.
Yeah.
I find him to be beneath me. But he is. Can you believe everything that's happened with Joe? We don't really discuss it, but can you believe? Just the other week, I was reading an article where it said the Trump establishment, who I like, asked Joe Rogan to not talk about Epstein anymore. And Joe Rogan agreed. Joe Rogan is a very bad person. He has restricted me from his Instagram. Yes, I have been personally restricted by Joe Rogan, meaning when I type a comment on his page, it does not come up. He has seen me. He's restricted me. He refuses to speak of me. I have never been brought up on the Joe Rogan Experience. I am a plague in the comedy community. Every comedian is having trouble with me. They're all complaining about me day in and day out. I don't even have to broadcast. They're complaining about old me. Yet Joe Rogan will not mention me. We have never heard on air a mention from Joe Rogan or Tony Hinchcliffe. They know better. Which brings me to this. If you could get Joe Rogan or Tony Hinchcliffe to start talking about Redbar on the air, $3,000. Cash. Now, it can't be deleted from the podcast. It has to be out. But we would love to hear their takes on me. We know that they dislike me a lot, which is wrong. Okay, let's hear this Duncan Trussell part. I think this is very important.
Joe would be corrupted by powerful forces looking to exploit him for access to his far-reaching media platform.
People have decided you're one of the magnifying glasses focusing this beam of attention into the world. You have to watch out because people are going to like try to exploit you. That's the main thing, is like people recognizing what you are, who have political agendas, will infiltrate your shit and then start blowing out their radioactivity into the world. And you have to wrestle with your identity. I worry about you, man.
He was well aware of these billionaire techno-wizard freaks out there, manipulating new media before it became too obvious to deny. He warned Joe about them being a danger over and over again.
We established they're these billionaires, and they live in these compounds.
Right.
And certainly people like Michael Hastings and other people, they get killed all the time. They're super powerful people who will use technology to kill people.
I really like this little piece of hair that's hanging down right there. You know, I've always had a problem with Duncan Trussell, how he carves out this beard. Is not doing himself any favors by doing, you know what, I could use this as my pointer for today. He carves this out. I've always talked about this, how he does this big dip here, this pool. See this here? You don't need to do that. That's making you look Jebediah-ish. Don't do that. Just let it connect here. And then, of course, trim down the sides and leave this, and then trim this up a little bit. Do it like this. Why did he
decide to do that scoop and not do like an even scoop from by the ear?
I don't know.
Made him
I don't know why he's doing this scoop. It's not. I mean, there's hair that grows there. I've seen it fill in. It fills in just the same as this. You could connect this. He carves this out, and then it makes him look like a droopy guy. Hey, everybody, it's me, Droop. You look awful. No wonder you're not able to get that one model anymore. Anyone follow the model he used to date? I have. All right, here he is, Duncan Trussell. But I do like this. This is very cute. I got to start doing this with my hair where it curls in like that a little bit.
I know.
That looks nice.
To have their own way. So that means that there is some group or series of groups of people that are doing like highly nefarious actions from places of power. Mm-hmm. We know that there is like truly a war to control the paradigm.
He was by all accounts an honest guy,
scoop.
And probably the only guy on that stupid podcast who would rather say what's true than just whatever the burgeoning comedy emperor wanted to hear. But those sorts of qualities are no longer welcome in the comedy czar's simulacrum. They're far too threatening. So once Joe migrated into his new reality, Duncan faced the hard choice of either embracing the absurd and maintaining his principles of honesty and truth, or committing a philosophical SUI and joining Joe in his new reality in order to maintain connection to the comedy czar's sphere of influence. Oh, Tipahan.
Whatever's happening, you just have to make it a good thing. Anything that's happening to you can be converted into something either that's going to make you scared, self-destructive, rationalize your anger, rationalize your shitty decisions, or it can be used as a thing that completely converts you. Like at any given moment, you can shed your operating system. You could drop all of the hang-ups, all the weird shit at any moment connected to the great truth, the divine.
That was him 5 years ago. He's since followed through on this new guy conversion, so let's see how connected he is to that great truth. Ooh, that divine.
Let me ask you this, so what do you think about people who say that someone like Peter Thiel is the Antichrist?
Here's what's fascinating to me about accusing Peter Thiel of being the Antichrist.
Now, Peter Thiel, in case you didn't know this in advance, is one of the primary billionaire techno-wizards we mentioned earlier. With his immense wealth, Thiel wields massive influence in politics, media, and online information.
You know what I always say when people say they don't like this guy? Thiel with it. Weezer. Thank you very much. Yeah, Thiel with it. Okay?
Wow.
And which was, by the way, one of the promo materials for the Thiel album from Weezer. It was Thiel with it, and people did. It wasn't a good album, but they telt with it. This is Peter Thiel, which I did not know about until this video. And I'm just learning about him now. I thought we only had 2 billionaires here. Kanye and Kylie. So I'm a little confused, a little nervous about these guys bad jacketing me, which I think means you're putting on a jacket that I wouldn't wear. Okay, let's see what happens here. Should Duncan Trussell, though, a guy like him, this hippie, this flower boy, this mushroom kid, he should hate a guy like this. He should hate all these people Rogan are associating with. He should be disgusted by the new Rogan and the new scene and Tony's rise to power. He should despise all that, and he should be telling them, Joe, no. But instead,
behind the scenes, he says cool stuff like freedom and democracy are actually not compatible. Pete's company, Palantir, is deeply embedded with the CIA.
I like this Palantir. It's like the Umbrella Corp. One day everything's going to be Palantir. You're going to wake up and it's going to be like, my Palantir drink is here, my Palantir breakfast, my Palantir, Does Tim Dillon know about that? Find out.
ICE, FBI, NSA, police, and the military-industrial complex, and promises to be the most powerful mass surveillance platform to ever exist.
That's it.
He subscribes to a philosophy that believes that civilization as we know it ought to be destroyed. And from its ashes, a new technocracy should arise, a new state run by a CEO king who wields absolute authority. Pete is part of this new military tech industrial complex, operating with little oversight while creating autonomous weapons and surveillance systems, and whose algorithms
Did you
remain
guys
a
know
complete
that Elephant Graveyard also edited the Ice Cube War of the Worlds movie?
I was just going to say, this reminds me of Amazon's
Same guy.
War of the Worlds. Very similar, which was given a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, this new Ice Cube War of the Worlds, which they had shelved. It was a COVID movie that they had shelved, and they decided, let's see what happens if we bring this back. And it's a B movie that they purposely made bad. It's a joke. But no, people, they really fell for that. And then they all had discourse online about how bad War of the Worlds with Ice Cube is.
It was good, okay?
It was good, and it was actually well done. And it was a well-done B movie that was very easy to follow. And it's low-hanging fruit to sit around and mock that movie and to pretend, oh, my God, I can't believe how stupid they are. Oh, my God, all these Amazon plugs. This was by design. This is what they wanted for the film. And I'll tell you, there was no slow parts. It went. And we enjoyed the film. And I would say, I'd go even further to say, criticizing this movie is a form of racism.
Agreed.
Okay.
history.
This is what the movie looks
a
like.
caricature of a villain, straight out of a comic book. But Pete is real. And the exact...
It's amazing. I gotta say, I'm so sorry for all the pauses. It's amazing how many rich people wear these Ray-Ban sunglasses. Is that Ray-Ban? Ray-Ban T.
Wow.
Ray-Ban T. So maybe those are better.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah, Ray-Ban Teal. I can't believe how many people wear Ray-Ban. Ray-Ban is not a nice glass. That's front of the mall. That's you. I really can't believe how many people wear Ray-Ban. Let's not do it. Let's try to be more unique. Let's try to be more of an outsider. Okay? Thank you.
Straight out of a comic book. But Pete is real.
Watch this.
And the exact kind
Hopefully
of
people are
nefarious,
following.
influential
Comic
guy
book.
that Duncan used to warn everybody about just a few years ago.
Yes.
All right, back to Duncan. What's he saying about Pete?
Here's what's fascinating to me about accusing Peter Thiel of being the Antichrist.
Stuff. He's
I saw
very
him give a
much.
talk and awesome. And it was like totally normal dude, obviously super smart. There didn't feel like there was any kind of like subversive anything, nothing.
You saw him, you hung out with him in Austin. This is like we hear Tim Dillon going to dinner with J.D. Vance. This is like Theo Vaughn having a best friendship with Robert F. Kennedy. And now we've got Peter Thiel and Duncan Trussell hanging out. And, it's just shocking. It's like you think these guys like you? You think these guys think you're cool and interesting? You don't get any alarms going off when these people want to speak to you, especially Theo Vaughn. J.D. Vance just loves Theo. Well, that one I could believe. But, very troubling that these guys wouldn't be a little alarmed that those types of guys want to be friends with you. Me, for example, I won't even have a lunch with Ben Lemon from Lemon Party, Ben Avery. Okay?
We would love to.
Let
but it's
alone
too
J.D.
risky.
Vance. I won't compromise myself with Ben Avery. Meanwhile, these guys are sitting down with Peter Thiel, Elon Musk. They've been compromised since the beginning when they rolled out that first podcast ad. I told you they were compromised, and this is who these people are. All right, listen to
Hot Breath Comedy
Ooh,
Network.
Hot Breath Comedy.
Looks like shit. What happened to him?
That is not
he
him. That is not him.
Here, press play. Don't go back too far.
Okay, here we go.
He's gonna cut back.
Peter Thiel being the Antichrist.
That's not hot stuff. He's very much
talking awesome. And it was like totally normal dude, obviously super smart. There didn't feel like there was any kind of like subversive anything, nothing to really be scared of.
Depressing.
So people say that Peter Thiel.
That is
Look at this
not Hot Breath
scumbag.
Comedy.
This used to be like a clean cut
That's not him.
Christian. Isn't it?
That's not him.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Hot
It's just some
Breath
guy Duncan's
Comedy
talking to. That's
Network.
not Hot Breath. You can't recognize Hot Breath? Man, I could see Hot Breath in my fucking
you're
dream.
right. Why did I think that was Hot Breath? Who is that?
I don't know. But what has happened to Hot Breath Comedy?
I literally thought that was him. Oh, thank God. He's still Christian.
That's not Hot Breath, bro.
is Antichrist, just for argument's sake.
Fucking says that.
You hear that? He's actually
Watch
getting
this.
mad about this.
Argument's
Fucking says that.
The reason Dunk's got to do this is because the comedy czar is actually Pete's friend now. So he had to become a new guy to stay in Joe's circle of power.
New guy.
A shriveled husk of a guy. Being fed by
And
the
it's
demonic
real
umbilical
true.
cord attached to the bowels of the comedy czar from which he can never disengage. He's cooked, finished. And God, look at him. He's just not the same guy.
I love that. God, this is all the whole documentary needs to be. God, look at him. He's just not the same guy. And there it is. Look at the eyes. Duncan Trussell never used to have these eyes. He never used to be so scared. He never used to look like this. When a man's eyes change, run.
Same
there
guy.
he is.
Look in his eyes. It's obvious. Those are suey eyes.
Wow.
Well, that's a confirmed suey for Duncan. Rest in peace, man. Quel dommage. Well, once you've entered the comedy czar's comedy cult
Wow, so there it is. I thought that was a very important scene. And I ask everyone, confront Duncan. All these guys, they need to be put under a spotlight, a hot lamp, and they need to be confronted live on camera. Duncan, what is going on? And they need to kind of address what the hell is going on. What the hell? What the hell-y? What the hell? What the heck? What the hell? We heard this song, What the Hell. Have you heard this? It's Blacka. What the hell?
Love that.
What the hell-y? What the hell? Have you heard this? Turns out we're so bummed. I wanted to play that on the show. Turns out it's a TikTok. It's a TikTok thing now. So that is to be out of here. We're striking that. This is how comedy was destroyed by an anti-reality doomsday cult. And he makes some great points.
Essential
it is
viewing.
A great watch. Everybody watch that. And boy, how scary are things getting, huh?
Speaking of Peter Thiel and Dark Enlightenment, should we watch Dasha interview Curtis Yarvin?
I would love to see this. And every time we talk about Dasha, did anybody understand what this was from? Did we get our thing? We didn't get a winner from this? I can't believe it. So we don't have people that are pretty that good at the internet. Like these people who watch our show don't really know what's going on. If you don't know what this is, you're not really a power user. You're not really on the net. How beautiful, huh? I got 12 of these. So if I ever run out,